Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or even know your nation, know yourself. Interchangeable there. So, all right. So this video is going to be, this one's going to be pretty quick, yeah? Because really I want it to be an update. Today's date is the 26th of the 5th, 2021, and my UK time is 3:35. Now, as we understand, the eclipse has happened, happening. It would have started to come in on the 25th yesterday. And for many people around the world, it would also be coming to fruition today. So today is the eclipse day. So I just thought, what a great time to talk about the eclipse. Now, this is the lunar eclipse. So I will be talking about the solar eclipse probably in my next video. And what I'll do is I'll see, I'll do it for the signs, but I may also do another one for countries as well, just to see what's going to be coming up for people, because countries in solar eclipses tend to be very much what happens with a country as a whole, because of course it's the sun, it's the kingdom. The lunar eclipse is more personal, it's more psychological, it's more emotional. And I just thought I just had to say, now remember, do you remember what I was saying how the eclipse would be falling on Duck Larange's moon? So Trumpy Trump, yeah, on his moon, and Madame Ivanka, yeah, his daughter. Now and I remember as well, so if we think about this, what is the moon? Yeah, what is the moon? The moon is our habits. The moon is our past. The moon is memory. The moon is about how we connect with others. The moon is about our intuition and our instinctive responses to things. And of course, this eclipse has been happening where? Yeah, in sidereal Scorpio. Now, of course, I'm talking about Vedic astrology, but many of you, of course, will watch tropical astrology as well. There'll be many tropical astrologers that watch, and for them, it's happening around about 5 degrees in Sagittarius. But in terms of like the true position of the eclipse, it was around about 11 degrees of Scorpio in the nakshatra Anuradha, which is all about devotion. So really, this is a little update, and also as well, just to highlight just how powerful eclipses are. So I said, let me just have a little slurp. My drink here. It was time for a little beverage, especially when it comes to talking about Trump. Now, isn't it interesting? When was it? Was it yesterday or day before yesterday? Maybe it was on the 24th. Now, what we need to remember is that the window of things happening for eclipses can happen a week to 2 weeks before the event, and they can certainly happen a couple of weeks afterwards, sometimes even up to 6 weeks. When it's similar, again, for solar eclipses, it can be 2 to 3 weeks before the event actually happens, but sometimes the effect of a solar eclipse can last up to 6 months until the next one, yeah? So the next eclipse is even bigger. Now, you would have seen me discuss here on my channel, but also as well with my collaborations with Diane's Tarot and of course at Marie's Table, which I've been so much enjoying. And I think we're going again this Saturday, I assume. And, to discuss more events. And of course, we can go into more details then, and we'll be answering your questions and all that stuff. But isn't it interesting? Because I said something significant. There'll be a bigger uptick in things to do with Trump and his family. Yeah, Trump and his family. And what did we have? We just had the DOJ, if I'm correct, because I know they're doing this combined thing with New York, aren't they? Forgive me if I don't know the exact terms, because of course I don't live in the States. But we have seen that now there is not only is it criminal, yeah, because remember it was upgraded to a criminal investigation, and again that was in the time frame of the solar eclipse. I'm sorry, of the lunar eclipse. But now, look what's happened. Look what has just struck, and we have now there is going to be a grand jury involved, and I don't care what anyone says, someone could be a Trumpster up to the eyeballs. When you've got a grand jury involved in your case, you're in trouble. Yeah, you know that you're in trouble because such things are not created for flim flam. Yeah, they're not created for flim flam. This is serious stuff, and it means you feel you have a strong case to even bring that together. You don't bring bring a grand jury for spilt milk, so they must be pretty confident that they've got some kind of evidence. So there we are, right in line with the timing of the eclipse, the lunar eclipse. We have Trump obviously being more things in terms of him being held account. I'm absolutely certain that Ivanka has probably got a letter in the post or an email from someone, yeah, talking about this. Because obviously it's grand jury, it's criminal investigation. So they're also not only looking at Trump, but also potentially the Trump businesses and stuff like that. And the kids have got their signatures all over that. So, they would have got a letter through the door, yeah, with whatever, insignia of the court or whatever it is that you have in the United States. Probably a depiction of a beautiful eagle or something with with the odd star or two kind of in there. As it tends to be the case, as it is the bald eagle is the national bird of America. As far from what I understand, it's the national bird, and actually one of my favorite birds, actually. Bald eagle and golden eagle, those are my two spirit animals, just in case you were curious. So we see the stakes have come up, but also as well, lunar eclipses also as well are about shadows, things coming out of the shadows, yeah, or surprising statements or things that people weren't aware of or things that come left field. And what do we see? Yeah, with leaky douchebag blowhard, also known as Marjorie Taylor Greene. In fact, I shouldn't even be laughing because it's not even funny. The stuff, look at the stuff she has been coming out with lately. Now, everyone's entitled to their opinion on masks and vaccinations. Will they mask? Will they vaccinate, etc.? Yeah, legitimate and fair questions. But to compare wearing a mask to having to wear a yellow star as a Jewish person before you were carted off to the gas camps and gulags and whatever is utterly ridiculous and utterly unacceptable. And unfortunately, what these eclipses are revealing is the shadow. Yeah, because remember what happens in an eclipse. It is a shadow comes across either the moon or the sun. Yeah, the two luminaries. This is why we pay a lot of attention to this in Vedic astrology. Yeah, the two luminaries are what? The lights. Yeah, the lights of the chart. The origin of all light, as we know in our solar system, of course, is the sun. Without the sun, that's it. We're finished. Life on Earth would end in about after 8 minutes. That's how long it takes the sun's rays to reach the Earth, is approximately 8 minutes. Thereafter, if the sun were to disappear, effectively the world would be plunged into something close to kind of almost zero temperatures. I mean like real, like true out there in space kind of zero. If the sun's energy were to sort of vanish, we might be able to survive for, residual heat or whatever, but we'll be done for, there'll be no light. Yeah, there'll be no light, and all the vegetation would die and everything. It would just be absolutely dreadful. So this is why the sun represents the soul in a chart. It represents the actual soul, our part of the divine spark. And it's also the kingdom, and it's the divine masculine. And the moon is the reflective principle. Yeah, the moon has no light of its own. None of the planets have the light of their own. Maybe Jupiter, a little whiff, and even Saturn. But they essentially rely on the sun for their illumination. So what does the moon do? The moon is the reflective principle, the feminine principle. And we know the moon waxes and wanes. So this is why, because the moon is so closely associated with the emotions, the mind, in terms of the ego, in terms of our consciousness that we feel we carry from lifetime to lifetime, you know, the Akashic records and things like that. That's all the moon. And the nodes of the moon, the invisible or the shadow points, is when the moon going around the earth intersects with the ecliptic of the earth going around the sun. And where those 2 points meet, that's where you get the eclipses, and we call those Rahu and Ketu, or the north node and the south node. Now they are shadows. So what they do is they tend to bring things out of the shadows, but they're very unpredictable. As I've said in my other video, for some people they're disastrous, for some people there's not much effect, for some people they can be really great, yeah? Because what they do is it's beginnings and endings. Particularly with a lunar eclipse, something comes to fruition, yeah? Something comes to fruition, and then the moon will again begin to wane. And then 2 weeks after, you then get the solar eclipse. So we're expecting a solar eclipse on or around the 10th of June, which tends to be an even a bigger expansion on what the lunar eclipse was about. Yeah. So here, what do we see? We got Duc L'Orange, yeah, and now is facing a grand jury, so of course he's going to be flapping about that. Oh, it's a witch hunt, it's this, it's that, oh, it's political, you know, he's going to do all of that stuff. And sadly, there will be many people that would believe him, probably with kind of debilitated moons as well, like his. And of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think she's got the same. I think she's got the same moon as well, or something very similar, but she's got something very close to Trump's moon. I think it might even be the same moon, but I'm just trying to remember. So we see, now this is not to be unfair to Scorpios and stuff, or anyone that's got their sun or moon in Scorpio, but the moon is considered debilitated in Scorpio. Why? Because Scorpio is the most intense and the most emotional sign, yeah? But it's fixed. I mean, everyone thinks it's Cancerians, and it's true, you know. Pardon me, Cancerians, you know, are very emotional and stuff like that as well. But with Scorpio, it's fixed water, yeah? So it's almost like trapped emotion in a way. And it's harder for Scorpios to actually express everything that they're feeling, yeah, because there's so much going on. So we get this eclipse that comes over the moon while it's in sidereal Scorpio, and what happens is the secrets tend to come out, or things, you know, things really come out of the dark. So we can see here, this is somewhat of a crisis really for Trump. Trump has been in a sort of like quasi-crisis basically since the election, yeah? But this is real jeopardy now. Now, whether or not this guy, you know, whether or not Duc L'Orange will go to prison over this is another thing. As you've seen on the channels and stuff like that, you know, a lot of people are not necessarily seeing him go to jail. I would have to agree with that, because I'm just not sure how long he can actually stick around for. Yeah, because like I said, remember what I said? I said Trump is going to become the most litigated man in history. They are going to be lining up to dish out the beatings like what happened to that woman on Airplane. Yeah, that comedy. You know, where they've literally like, they've got like the sticks and they've got this, that and the other, and someone's coming with a guitar and someone had a leg of ham, I think, or something like that. the whole world and his wife, with every grievance that they have against Trump, is going to be lining up to have their sixpence worth, yeah, to have their day in court, quite rightly. And he's wronged so many people over the years that this could just go on and on and on and on for years. And no matter how strong you are, because remember, he does have Mars in the first house, which gives a tremendous amount of resilience and strength and oomph, yeah, to fight, especially as it's in Leo for him, sidereal Leo. So it's even stronger. But there's only so far that one can go with these things. Time stops for no one, yeah? What's Saturn? Saturn is the planet of time, yeah? Chronos. He's the planet of the harvest, karma, reaping one's karma, what is due, yeah, what is fairly due. And there's something very interesting happening, which is that Saturn has started to go retrograde. It's sort of like stationary. Let me just check on my computer to see if it's actually officially retrograde as yet, because it might. Oh no, it is retrograde. Yeah, it's got the little R next to it. So Saturn is now starting to move backwards. Now, for many of us, actually, we're actually really gonna celebrate that, because Saturn, although he is a slow-moving planet, he's known as a slow-moving planet. But let me tell you, when he's moving direct, Saturn can make a lot of stuff happen, a lot. And we've just seen it's just been one thing after the other. So Saturn is now going retrograde. So what happens now is that he starts giving the results, yeah? The results of karma start to bear their fruit, be it good, bad, or ugly. Now, isn't that interesting? You know, yesterday/today is the day of the eclipse. Saturn is also just starting to go retrograde, just starting to move backwards. So some karma is being taken out of the oven. Yeah, Saturn's had his apron on and whatever, and has been baking this, that, and the other, and all of us have been like, when is this stuff gonna happen? Blah blah blah. And Saturn's been taking his sweet time, you know, mixing the sugar, the flour, the ingredients. Yeah. Now we see the cake is coming out of the oven. Yeah, the cake is coming out of the oven, and you know, for Duck L'Orange, yeah, what's come out of the oven? Oh my goodness, it's a grand jury. Yeah. A grand jury has been taken out of the oven for Trump. In 2 weeks, we have the solar eclipse, which is actually going to be happening in Taurus, yeah, which is right on Trump's sun, which is what? The kingdom, yeah? So that's happening 2 weeks from now, yeah? So as the moon tracks round here, when it's the new moon, that's going to be the eclipse. And that's, I think, when Saturn is going to start putting on the frosting and the sprinkles. Yeah, the cake will be decorated. Yeah, the cake will be decorated. Yeah, so now he's mixing the frosting, deciding the color. Yeah, the grand jury is stewing over everything. Oh, what color will this be? What kind of toppings will we have? And then in a couple of weeks from now, which would seem to be the logic anyway, then we'll really find out exactly what this grand jury has in store. Now, even then, it still doesn't mean he will necessarily be indicted, yeah? Because I know everyone's rubbing their fingers and, waiting to see what will happen. So all I'm just saying, get your popcorn ready, yeah? Because this show is warming up big time. And so that will be happening right on Trump's kingdom. But also as well, anyone that is a Taurus ascendant, or they've got their sun in Taurus as well, this could be a little bit of a challenging time, because this is a solar eclipse, yeah, which is even bigger. And so we will see what happens. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Ivanka as well. I guarantee you she's had some letter put through the letterbox, yeah, about what's going on. How could it not be the case? Yeah, because this company is now is not any criminal, it's now his grand jury, high stakes. The stakes have just come up, so all of them are in the firing line. And this is also as well when Trump is probably choosing, because remember as well, like I said, the moon is family. Yeah, he's probably going through his, his pictures, on his desk if he still use one, and he's probably choosing which one to throw under the bus. Yeah, because Trump is Trump. We know what he is. But what's also being revealed is what the GOP is as well. Yeah. And also as well, of course, it's not just about the States as well. This is around the whole world. Yeah, around the whole world, there's lots of stuff going on. And I mean, look at the stuff that came out as well, coinciding with the eclipse. Belarus stopping that Ryanair flight, using a jet to stop a commercial flight, flying to Lithuania, I think it was. And they literally put the jet down and arrested the guy, arrested that protester and took him off. That's literally state-sponsored hijacking. I mean, this is extraordinary stuff. Yeah, and again, that happened around the eclipse as well, and there'll be a bit more kind of extraordinary stuff as well. What is positive is that there is a ceasefire at the moment between Israel and Palestine. We'll see how long that lasts, yeah, and we'll see what happens with the solar eclipse, what will come out. So we've seen big changes. So write in the comments how you feel that the eclipse has affected you, because remember as well, it's not all bad news, a lunar eclipse is something coming to fruition. Yeah, so this is some kind of new awareness coming forward. It could even mean a change in status depending on which house it falls in. Yeah, depending where Scorpio is in your chart sidereally, that will indicate the areas of life. And of course, I've already done that, so feel free to check my previous video, which is about the lunar eclipse for all signs. This is much more of an update, yeah, just a touch base, based on what we've seen already. And if there's any other stuff as well that's been interesting that's come out, or there's been some kind of realization or some kind of download, this is also times when we get upgrades as well. So let me know in the comments below. We could also say that this is somewhat of a victory as well for Joe Biden, because remember, he's a double Scorpio, so his sun is here and his ascendant, so he's just had the eclipse go over. Yeah, so I think this is a point in which Joe Biden is now, in regards to the GOP, because remember, he's been trying to work with the GOP. Yeah, he's been trying to work with the GOP, trying to get them to see sense. Yeah, they won't see sense. I think this is the part the eclipse has revealed, particularly with leaky douchebag Blowhard saying the outrageous things. And that's why I called her that name, by the way. You can see why I gave her that name. Yes, totally appropriate, because she's just off the rails. And I would think for Biden and the Biden administration, they have now seen something come to fruition. If we imagine, like with my drink here, like this is the moon, yeah? They have now seen something come to fruition, yeah? And now they're like, okay, we know what this is about, And that is that the GOP, or the Grand Old Prostitute Party. In fact, that doesn't even fit anymore, really, because they are so beyond. They are so beyond. I mean, really, the GOP. I mean, it should be, guerrilla party of power party or guerrilla power, because they are acting as an insurgency against the interests of the American people. And there are people that are still under the spell, but they really have to see what's going on. So I think for Biden, what has come to fruition is the recognition and the true understanding that the GOP are never going to work with him, or the GOP as it currently stands, the Trumpublicans, the Trumplicans, or however it is. He knows unequivocally now who and what they are and what they stand for. You know, it took them 5 days to come out and with this condemnation for you know, leaky douchebag blowhard. Do you know what I mean? 5 days. I mean, we're naked. This is naked, you know, anti-Semitism and, you know, whatever else. But we know what she is as well. She's a grifter and she's a fundraiser. And that's obviously the only kind of compass that has any true north in the GOP is that. Does it make us money? Will it get us closer to power? So we see the fight is now on. So for Joe Biden now, because this would have happened across his ascendant, yeah, which is the body, and the sun, which is the kingdom, and he's obviously what? He's president, yeah. So the sun represents kings and presidents. So here now he's basically, he and the Democrats have got to go it alone. Yeah, they've got to go it alone. The GOP they're lunatics. They're just absolute lunatics. There's just nothing else to be said, or at least at the senior level. You know, there are actually some Republicans who are trying to speak out, but I mean, it's like, you know, it's just like one or two sparrows trying to, you know, drown out the noise and kerfuffle of like guillemots, you know, going into the sea, you know, foraging for sardines, yeah, on this grift, you know, trying to maintain the big lie. So I think for the Biden administration, this is also a wake-up call where he has to accept, you know what, this isn't going to happen. You know, we're, as a party, we're just going to have to pass legislation ourselves and just do the back deal horse trading with whoever they need to do and just pass their stuff, because basically the GOP are completely incoherent. They're completely amoral. As the recent instance with leaky douchebag blowhard has proved. You know, you can't have politics like that. You just can't. You just can't. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. Yeah, fine, they've made this statement 5 days after. Please, you know, it's just ridiculous. So this is what we're seeing, yeah, this dark truth, yeah, yet more truth coming out, and this solar eclipse is going to expand on that. So what I will do is, in my next video, I will do the solar eclipse of all signs, and I'll look at countries as well. And we'll look at where they fall. Obviously, you know, America, China. Let's have a look at Canada, India. See what's going on there. I mean, they're actually having a Kala Sarpa yoga kind of return. So it's even more dramatic for them. And any other countries that you would like me to have a look at within reason. You know, obviously, I'm thinking maybe five or six countries, something like that. So feel free to leave comments below of what country you might potentially like me to look at. In fact, actually, what I'll do it as a survey. That's often the best way. Should I do a survey? You know what? No, actually, I'll just look at the comments and see what you guys want to see. So there we are. So this is just a quick one here. And of course, I've changed the camera so the point of view is different, because now I can actually see myself, but I put the tape there to make sure that I'm looking at you guys and not myself, but it means I can actually look at the time. So we're just coming up to 29 minutes almost. So I just want to say, if anyone would like a consultation with me, then of course, feel free to visit my website, thearchetypalblueprint.com. And I have added tarot. So if you'd like some tarot, you know, it's up to you guys. It's there. It's so much fun to do. So that's there as an option. And I should be back with you guys again, hopefully around Marie's table this Saturday. And of course, we'll talk about things there. So again, thank you so much, you guys. Also as well, thanks so much for the support. Over 6,000 subscribers now. Yay! Wonderful. And I've not checked what the number is recently, but it's been going up. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the support, and I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying the content. So this was just a little kind of like an update / reflection on the eclipses. How have they been for you? And what countries would you like me to look at in terms of the solar eclipse? You know, shall we say the kingdom eclipse? Yeah. So we can look at countries, and I'll try and check out as well where the line of totality goes of the shadow. The shadow of the solar eclipse will show as well what countries are going to be in the news for the next 6 months. All right, so I hope that was good for you. There we are, just at 30 seconds, and see you all soon. 30 minutes rather. Cheers, thank you, bye-bye. Lots of love.